Welcome. My name is Natasha Sherman and I am your host. And my guest today is Dror Ashuah. He is the author of Conversation with Angels, and So Be It, and It's Time. Welcome back.
Thank you.
It's been a few years and I'm so happy to have you back. So the book Conversation with Angels, you can interpret that when you read the title in any way. But I'm going to ask you to share a little bit of your story. You were married, had a daughter, happily married, engaged in spiritual commitment, meditated a lot. So as you said in a conversation with me just before we came on, is your life was good. You weren't looking for anything else to fill anything, take on new adventures, and all of a sudden something happened.
Yes, many people go into the spiritual path through adversity, through crisis, through tragedy. And for me, it was actually the opposite. I was 42, sold my business. I felt that I'm done. From this point on, I'm just going to support my wife then, who was a very successful artist. I'll be just a cane or the ladder, or whatever you want, and raise our daughter, and just that's it. I didn't look for anything more than just having a kind of a hobby spiritual practice, meditating every day, but not taking it too seriously. Mm-hmm. I felt that it was a privilege, and there was life was great. Mm-hmm. There was nothing more to aspire. Me personally, I didn't want to be something else other than just
living your life,
living my life, and in supportive role. I didn't look for it. And when I had the meeting at Starbucks on December 10th, 2007, I had no idea what is coming. I had this person who followed me into after an amazing meditation and kind of a very beautiful and unique experience meditating. I went into Starbucks and I sat at the rear table at the cafe, which I always went to, and had my tea and cookie, and someone sat right there, and I didn't invite him, and he said to me, just in a very, very plain, beautiful, soft voice, he said, we are angels like you, and we would like to tell you your story. And for me, I didn't grow up with angels. Beside the fact that my mother used to say angels are guarding you, I had no contact with that at all.
Right.
I come from the Jewish tradition, and angels are not big there. So it wasn't, I mean, they are, but they're not. Sure. So, I didn't grow up religious. So that was very odd. And when I looked at him, I wanted to say, it's New York. Right. There's many strange people walking around, and I wanted to resist, but there was no way. There was just no way. And he said, we would like you to take notes. So from that point on, the note that he read, or he dictated in some way, was about a choice. It was the first message of the first book. It's all about choices, that you have a buffet, and you can choose whatever you want, and that's the story of this kind of life. And now choose.
Wow. So the thing is that it has evolved to more than that. So you wrote Conversation with Angels, and you were downloading, kind of, the messages would be sent through you. And you don't describe yourself as someone who channels. It's just kind of an expression that comes through you, or?
It's not an expression that comes through me. It's the angelic frequency or realm is part of who I am, like it's part of everyone. Everyone has their angelic entourage around them. I just happen to be communicating more on a regular basis than most, but it's not channeling. So a lot of time, you can call it channeling, but we all channel.
Right.
Many people channel entities with names, with personality, with the different knowledge, like the Abrahams, the Creons, etc., etc. It's all valid. It's all. In this case, it's not. It's just part of my larger aspect, like you have a larger aspect, and we all do, and we all have that access to that amazing knowledge, direction, guidance. But finishing the thought, if I may,
Yes.
from that point where I thought my life was great, and I had this great Earl Grey tea in Starbucks, and had the cookie, and had things started going haywire, and not of my choice. I felt that I was called. I was giving this gift that I didn't ask for, and I had a choice either to stay truthful to it or to walk away. I always had the choice. And I felt that if I walk away, I don't fulfill my purpose for coming here. So that was very, very clearly something that has to do with why I came. So from that point on, there was financial crisis, my relationship fell apart, the people closest to me were hurt, I was hurt. There was a lot of very, very difficult challenges that I thought, what the hell did I do wrong? All I wanted is to be in a supportive role and kind of retire, but retirement was not in the cards. Apparently, I was called, and I felt like I needed to step up. I needed to make that choice, and it wasn't an easy choice, and it's still not. There's a lot of different tolls that you pay along that highway, but it's amazing as well. So.
It's so interesting. So the first thing I want to just address is this whole idea of when you say, we all have, I think what you're pointing to is we're all more than we think we are.
A lot more.
And we're just not, some of us are in touch with it, some of us are not, and in different ways. But this kind of, you became very aware of it, and you were kind of in a way given a job. But one would think that being given this job from the angelic realms, it would be like free sailing. Ooh la la, things are going to be good. And what you're saying is not so. So
totally not so. so not so.
And yet you wouldn't have changed it because you made the choice. This is clearly, it resonated for you. It is my purpose.
Yeah.
So you're traveling this road. Do you ever say, well, what's the point? Why am I having all of this?
10 times a day.
Okay, good.
Yeah. I'm kind of a reluctant person, and I think that's maybe one of the reasons that I was selected for it, because I always ask and I always kind of resist a little bit.
So you're not just following blind.
No,
there's
choice
engaged in,
always, and I always have to make those choices, and those choices are presented very clearly. Are you in or are you out? Are you there? And when I kind of hesitate, I can't go to sleep until I make a choice, and I always made a choice to align, because there's so much magic and so much beauty and so much love and so much. Such experiences, and I feel that it's such a privilege. But, big but, what you perceive as high cost, but really isn't.
That's good.
Yeah, there's no cost at all. The only cost is to be truthful, to be completely aligned with who you are at every moment, at any cost, to stay with your heart and with your love. Because if I stir away from it, I can't. I feel it in so many ways that literally my car won't start. I won't be able to. There's things that are physical, manifesting in my physical reality that will tell me you're not aligned. So the choice is to be truthful and to stay with love, no matter what the experience is. And then the perception is, it's hard, it's challenging, it's difficult, yes, but at the same time, it's truthful. And it's real, and it's deep, and it's amazing. It's an amazing journey to totally face whatever going through. And then at some point you stop judging. You kind of know already that there's a gift somewhere, although right now it's stinking. Smells terrible. And you say, what did I do wrong? But at some point that stink become kind of what fertilized earth. And from this sprouts a beautiful flower, and then you understand that it has a service. So it's all accurate, it's all serving in some way.
You know, one of the things, and I may be misinterpreting this, but from what I remember reading some of this, and one of the things that comes to light is you took a human body not to just be spiritual, that you have to engage in your humanity and in your physicality, and that there has to be a balance between your ego and your human being and spirit.
Yes. Should I elaborate on that?
Yes.
There was a period of time within my own journey where I violated that balance, and I felt that the higher I go and the more elevated I am, the better it is. And it was just my own perception of it. It wasn't that I was guided to. And I stopped vibrating like a human, if you can say that. I didn't feel pain anymore. I didn't connect to darkness.
You were kind of above it all.
I felt beautiful. I felt like floating. I felt love to everything, to everyone. And I, in some ways, stopped serving because I wasn't where I wasn't connected to my humanity. I wasn't connected to my true self. And then life showed me in a very, very direct way that I need to face darkness. I need to connect back into my humanity. There was a time where I felt like I didn't need to be on earth anymore. There was just, I didn't feel the gravity. I didn't feel the need to be here. I just felt love all the time, and there was not really an attraction. And then something hit me like a kind of like a truck at some point, where I needed to connect to all of that, and it was a gift that I didn't like at all, but it kind of brought me back into my humanity, into balance. I was misaligned.
I want to read something from that you downloaded, yes, or a message that you got. And then I want to talk a little bit about gratitude. So it says, with a universe so vast, do you truly believe that there are no other choices than to arrive at this sacred school you call Earth? You came here to play, to challenge yourself, to have the field open so that you may truly participate in the game of creation. Choices are the core element of this game. So play hard, play soft, play with your heart, play love, play with courage, play with joy, play happy, yet know that this is just a game. In this game, you lose by not playing, and you win simply by playing. Never lose sight of who you are. All our messages are like signs, markings, streetlights, guiding you how to play the game. So, most of us want to resist the game, right? Because it doesn't always present us with the things we want.
It's not comfortable.
No. And so I gather that part of that message is embrace all of it.
Embrace all of it. When something happens in your life that brings you into fear, bring you into a place of pain, it's usually somewhat of a gift from the universe that you yet to identify, however, in whatever shape or form it comes. And sometimes that, what they say is our post to embrace it, to face it, to fully be present, not to try to hide it, not to try to sedate yourself, but go into it, go into wherever you are facing, play hard, so you will gain the benefit of being here, because that's why you're here. That is why you're here.
Otherwise, you wouldn't have needed to come, right?
Yes, and when you look the other way and when you don't face it, there's no judgment. There's definitely no judgment from the angelic entourage. There's no judgment from them at all, no matter what you do. Even if you do horrible things, it's from that realm. There's no judgment. The only judgment comes from the self. But you're just not playing. You're just sitting on the chair and watching the game, and that is a lot less interesting. And that's not why you came here.
Yeah, it all again, moment by moment, it can either be the good news or the bad news.
Yeah.
So I want to ask you a little bit about gratitude, because I know in this writing they talk about gratitude. So Say a little bit about that.
Okay. Gratitude is probably the easiest spiritual trick that people discover at some point on the spiritual path, and it's probably the easiest shortcut to change any circumstance in your life and transform the vibration from whatever you think is going on into light. As soon as you utter those words, you become grateful for whatever happens to you, even if you don't believe it yet. You're changing your reality instantly. So it's almost like the Book of Secrets. It's almost like a secret that is known to all those that are going through challenges or went through immense training in the spiritual path, that gratitude is a vibrational shift of reality where whatever you go through, if you become grateful for it, it always elevated to the highest and most beneficial event. And sometimes it's hard. It's hard, especially when you go through pain. But even if you say it until you say it enough times until you believe it, you just say, I'm grateful. I don't know why. I don't know what it means yet. But I know that at some point I will find out, and I'm grateful for whatever I'm experiencing without judging. Once you judge something as bad, you limited the whole scope of your experience. And from that point on, to change it into good could take a long and arduous journey. So once you acknowledge, as soon as you acknowledge, and whatever happens in your life, even if it's fearful, and even if you got this letter that talks about eviction or whatever, or financial thing that is very mundane, you say, I'm grateful for that because that can carry me. You're actually changing your reality instantly into from a place of going downhill to a place of going up that actually can elevate your whole manifested reality. So it's very powerful. It really is powerful. And it's powerful on the physical realm, not on the just the spiritual realm.
So it can change your physiology even.
It changes it. It changes right away. It's actually, if you go into a kind of a negative direction and you acknowledge it and you offer gratitude for it, it immediately catapults it into an elevated thing that actually can change the direction that you're going and bring it higher. So maybe that eviction or whatever can actually bring you into a much better place and a better home, better circumstances once you offer that gratitude. So the gratitude is I call it a trick but it's not really a trick. At some point you have to believe in it. You started as a trick, but if your vibration
probably transforms itself.
Not always, but if you say it enough time and the vibration is of gratitude, then you have won. If you continue to not believing it, but you're saying it and saying it and saying it, the words have no power, but your intent and your vibration has power, and that's what changes things.
It's so interesting because I remember there was a period of time, where I did some reading about gratitude, and I would just make the practice of, I would walk down the street or in the store or wherever and just say the words, thank you, but really thank you. And as I said them, I could actually get the sensation of, there is stuff to be thankful for. And it didn't have to be to anything specific. And I found it very powerful, and then I let it slip away. So now you're here to remind me. But, on a day-to-day level, people don't necessarily want the kinds of experiences you had. People want to be happy. People tend to resist anything that is unpleasant. So, and here's this message, be in the game of life. It's going to come at you whether you like it or not. So, be engaged. Is there some underlying, not even trick, but message? Because you talk about vibration a lot. So what should people actually be doing on a day-to-day basis? Besides being grateful?
Living their lives, of course. But the messengers in whole talking about how you align with the purpose of you coming here. So if you are misaligned, the way it usually translates into the physical can be either sometime in accident, sometime in kind of dis-ease, in some sort of a physical manifestation. A lot of time it has to do with depression, using substitute to sedate you because you feel you're just unhappy and you're not full. So the messages talk about being aligned with who you are and what you came here to do, without judging, without saying you didn't come here to make money, to dress well, to even not to be happy. You came here to be yourself. And from that, everything else stems from that, just being truthful to who you are. So if you meant to be a gardener, but you took this high-powered job because that's where the prestige lay, and even in a layman term, and at some point you got this huge message, in physical or some kind of a physical ailment, and you feel like you have to just keep up, you have to drink so many cappuccinos and take so many pills, whatever it is, just to keep up. The message is, maybe your purpose coming here is to be connected more to the natural world and be a gardener, or whatever it is that actually brings you into that reality, and then everything will align from that. So it's not about being happy, it's about being truthful, and from that, happiness is a choice when you're truthful. But when you are not with yourself, when you're not aligned to who you are, then who will be happy? Who is a person that there's no one there? So
it seems to me that what you're saying is it's kind of watching for the pain points, maybe, or because I think that you're suggesting that if we really stop, we will notice aspects of who we really are, as opposed to...
You don't notice, you know.
Okay, it's the inner knowing.
It's an absolute knowing. And it's a knowing that you only can silence by drinking it down, it's a strong sound. It's not something that is subtle. It's something that is really within your field, that in order to silence it, you have to really work at it. So the inner knowing is not quiet. It's strong.
And
all of us know, and we know when we choose not to.
Okay, that's what I want to ask you. All of us know is what you're saying.
All of us know. And you know when you decide to make that choice not to be with, and to do something that is misaligned with who you are. And for lack of a better term, and you pay for it. You pay for it. And without a judgment, it's not good or bad, but you know it, and
there's a cost to it.
And there's a cost to it.
I hate to cut you short, but we only have a few minutes left, and I know we wanted to talk about the Heart Pulse partnership.
Yeah, okay. I'm going to make it...
We have 3 minutes.
Short and sweet. In May of 2012, I received this, I saw a lot of the messages come in visions. So I saw this vision how we as humans have this technology on bringing more light to this planet. And it looked amazing, but I, of course, with my cynical self, I said, what I have to do with it? So the message that I received was, well, the whole third book is about that technology. And I took upon myself with a group of amazing people around me to try to manifest that technology and bring more light. And it proven more challenging than it looked in the vision. But I invite those who resonate with working on healing Earth in some way.
Healing the Earth. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And its inhabitants.
And its inhabitant, it's a pure energetic work, and it works with the heart, with the magnetic field of the heart. To go onto the website, you can't really see any information because it's blocked only for people that are actually doing the work. But you can ask for information; we'll give it to you, and it's beautiful, and it's absolutely beautiful, astonishing blueprint from the angelic realm as a gift. It's not mine. It's probably available to other people that are connected to that realm, but it gives us a way to charge Earth in a pure way without any politics. It's completely neutral, but raises a loud vibration on earth. So that was my 3 minutes.
Well, I invite people, because this is not this is only a conversation that can kind of, activate something, because it's not a conversation that you go, oh, there's the answer.
No.
So I invite people, if this activates anything, to check out your website, to check out the books, to pursue that inclination, because that's the real person inside, or the real you, that is letting you know that this is what resonates. So I want to thank you for coming back after 5 years. We have to make sure it's not another 5 years. Yes. Thank you so much. And thank you for these messages. And I know you don't take it personally. They're given to you, but you're willing to put yourself in the line of fire in order to get them out. Thank you. My name is Natasha Sherman. Thank you for joining us.